Good morning. So today we have structural analysis, and in this we are going to cover plastic analysis theory part. Now, if we will consider any beam and if we will apply load to it, then we are going to get stresses in the beam. Now we have applied load and we have increased load by some increments. So when load is below yield value, our stresses are in within elastic limit, that is less than yield stress. We can see figure B. If we again increase the load, so one stage will come when my load reaches yield value. At that time, my outermost fiber reaches yield stresses. That is, topmost fiber and bottommost fiber reaches yield stresses. If I again increase the load, then my internal fibers are going to reach the yield stresses. You can see this diagram, that is D. Again, if we are still increase value by small increments, then one stage will come where my all the fibers of the section reach yield stresses, and we have stress diagram in this way. So first diagram, this is within elastic limit. Second diagram we have at elastic limit. Third diagram we have elastoplastic condition, and final diagram we have plastic state. So this is the state at which my load is ultimate load, collapse load, and this is my condition where my load is yield value. Now some terms in plastic analysis. So plasticity. So it is the permanent deformation without fracture. And at this stage, the stresses are greater than the yield stresses. Now plastic hinge. At this stage, the stresses in all fibers in compression and tension reaches the yield stress. So that we have seen in this. So this is my condition. After reaching this stage, if we increase load again by small increment, then it causes large curvature in the beam, and this causes plastic collapse, which is known as plastic mechanism. This effect is known as plastic hinge. Actually, plastic hinge and structural hinge, we have difference. In structural hinge, my moment about hinge is zero, whereas in plastic hinge, my moment about plastic hinge is constant value, which is known as plastic moment. So, or I can say moment required to develop plastic hinge is known as plastic moment. And third term we have load factor, which is ratio of collapse load to the working load. Now shape factor. So for shape factor, we should be well known with elastic moment, plastic moment, elastic section modulus, plastic section modulus. Now elastic neutral axis. This term already we have seen in bending stresses. This is axis or plane which passes through the centroid of the cross section. So this is centroid of the cross section, whereas plastic neutral axis, it is the axis or plane which divides my cross section into two equal parts. Now if we will see symmetrical section, in symmetrical section, my elastic neutral axis and plastic neutral axis both are lying along the same line or along the same plane. Then we have elastic section modulus. This term also we have already studied in bending stresses. So where we have, it is defined as the ratio of moment of inertia to the distance of the farthest fiber. That distance may be in compression or that distance may be in tension. This is your elastic section modulus, which is I by Y max. Now plastic section modulus, it is calculated as ZP is equal to AC into IC bar plus AT into IT bar, where AC and AT both are same because plastic neutral axis is the axis which divides area into equal two parts. So I can replace AC and AT by A by 2. So I have A by 2 IC bar and A by 2 IT bar. And YC bar and YT bar, these are the distance of the centroid of this area in compression and area in tension to the plastic neutral axis. Now we have elastic moment in compression. So it is defined as the product of yield stress in compression to elastic section modulus in compression, and that will gives me MEC. Now for this I have sigma YC into ZEC, where sigma YC is yield stress in compression and ZEC is section modulus in compression. How we will find ZEC? That is I by YC. Now elastic moment in tension, this is MET. Now it is defined as the product of yield stress in tension to elastic section modulus in tension. So ZET, that is I by YT, and if you multiply ZET by sigma YT gives you elastic moment in tension. Now we have elastic moment is minimum of MEC and MET, and that is known as ME. So ME is minimum of elastic moment in compression and elastic moment in tension. Then we have plastic moment. Now it is again defined as the product of yield stress to AY by 2 in compression and yield stress in tension to AY by 2 in tension. So now you can see MP sigma YC into AC into YC bar plus sigma YT into AT into YT bar. So now sigma YC, that is yield stress in compression, AC is A by 2 and YC bar plus sigma YT yield stress in tension, and that is A by 2 into YT bar. Now what is shape factor? It is defined as the ratio of plastic moment to elastic moment. And now we know both plastic moment we know, elastic moment we know. So we can find shape factor. Now second, we can simplify this equation provided my stress in compression and tension is same. Means sigma YC equal to sigma YT equal to sigma Y. That is stress in compression equal to stress in tension. So now let us, we will say sigma Y with the yield stress. Then we have elastic moment, that is product of yield stress to minimum elastic section modulus, and minimum elastic section modulus is I by Y max, and therefore I will get ME is equal to sigma Y into ZE minimum. Now similarly I can find plastic moment. Again it is the product of yield stress to plastic section modulus. Now plastic section modulus I have AC YC bar plus AT YT bar, or A by 2 into YC bar plus A by 2 into YT bar, and we have to multiply it by stress. Now if I will put it, actually this is MP by ME, not ME by MP. So this is plastic moment to the elastic moment, and now plastic moment we have sigma Y into ZP divided by sigma Y into ZE minimum, which will gives me ZP upon ZE minimum. So this is plastic moment to elastic moment. Now conditions for plastic analysis. So we have following three conditions for plastic analysis, and that should be satisfied to determine the true collapse load. First is the mechanism or kinematic condition. In this condition, number of sufficient plastic hinges transform the structure into mechanism. So to transform your structure into mechanism, we should have sufficient number of plastic hinges. Then we have equilibrium or statical condition. In this condition, moment distribution should be in equilibrium with the collapse load. Then that condition we are going to say as equilibrium or statical condition. Now third we have the yield or shape condition. Now in this condition, our bending moment at any of the section should not be greater than the plastic moment. That is, bending moment nowhere exceeds the plastic moment. Now based on this, we have three theorems. One is uniqueness theorem, second is lower bound theorem, third is upper bound theorem. Now in uniqueness theorem, our all three conditions are satisfied, that is mechanism, equilibrium and yield condition. So the load we are going to get from this, that will be true collapse load. Now in lower bound theorem, only two conditions are satisfied, equilibrium condition and yield condition. So as it is satisfying equilibrium condition, so also known as static theorem, and as satisfy yield condition, so known as shape theorem. But as it is not satisfying mechanism condition, so the structure will not collapse. and the load we are going to get from this theorem, that is less than or equal to 2 collapse load. Now if we will go to upper bound theorem, now in this our bending moment distribution satisfy again two conditions, but one is mechanism and second is yield. Then the corresponding load we are going to get from this is greater than or equal to true collapse load. In this, as mechanism is assumed, so mechanism condition is satisfied and equilibrium condition is also satisfied, but yield condition is not satisfied, and therefore this theorem is known as unsafe theorem. Now, considering these three theorems, we have two methods. One is equilibrium method and second we have mechanism method. Now in equilibrium method, true collapse load is calculated by superimposing free bending moment diagram to the fixed bending moment diagram. Now free bending moment diagram and fixed bending moment diagram we have studied in fixed beam and in Clapeyron's theorem, in Castigliano's second theorem. Now in this, equilibrium condition is satisfied, so known as statical theorem or lower bound theorem. Now in this, ultimate or collapse load again calculated from the geometry of the bending moment diagram. If somewhere my bending moment exceeds plastic moment, then that we have to discard it. And the mechanism which satisfy equilibrium and yield are considered in equilibrium method. So this method is generally not used. Method we are using for the analysis is mechanism method. Now in this method, we are going to assume different possible mechanisms. And you can see in this method, different assumed mechanisms give the true collapse load. Mechanism condition is fulfilled, so it is known as kinematical method or upper bound method. Now all the possible mechanisms are considered, so the load we are going to get in from this method is true collapse load. Now to analyze the problems, the principle we are going to use in this theorem is work done by external load are equal to the work observed by plastic hinges. So we have summation P into delta. P is external load, delta is displacement under that load. That is equal to summation M into MP into theta. MP is plastic moment and theta is rotation at plastic hinge. Now in the analysis of this, we have to go for this possible location of plastic hinges and type of mechanisms. So hinges are formed. First, we have to mark hinges at fixed support. Then we have to mark plastic hinges at interior support. Then we have to mark at rigid joint, then concentrated load, and then in the span of uniformly distributed load, somewhere that we have to see according to the given problem and support condition. Now to analyze the problem, we should be well known with the types of mechanisms. So we are going to consider three mechanisms. One, we have beam mechanism. Second, we have sway mechanism. And third, we have combined mechanism. And a combined mechanism is combination of beam and sway mechanism. So this is all about your theory part, which you require for the analysis in plastic, or we can say plastic analysis. So but this completes your plastic analysis theory.